this is Lichess Plays. How's everyone doing today? Let's get this started. I have 37 challenges in the queue here. Let's start it up. Ursula, you're up first. 1481. You have the white pieces if you're there. Yeah, happy Sunday, everyone. All right, and my opponent is here. Let's play a Sicilian. Screen capture looking good. Greetings to everyone on both Twitch and YouTube. As usual, we are on both platforms, simultaneously streaming. What's up, John Stevenson? I see you there on YouTube. John says, I smell coffee. Yeah, I got my coffee right here. I'm ready to go. 2 hours of 3+0 Blitz. You guys know the drill. Anyone can challenge. You don't have to be a sub. No, we don't do that here. You don't even have to be watching the stream. You can just send a challenge as long as it's 3+0 Blitz and you have a Lichess account. Feel free. Okay, F3. Now, I think this is slightly inaccurate. Let's go ahead and play D5 right away. So this is one way you can attempt to take advantage. So white has committed to F3 when knight G4 is not exactly a threat yet. So I'm going to try to punish that in some way. However, I actually don't think this is a great decision by me. I think I should have castled first. But let's see if white picks up on why, and we'll investigate after the game. Hello, Aradex says greetings from Berlin. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I was actually a little worried about bishop b5 there. I think bishop b5 might have been good. So now we'll take. We'll take again. If knight takes c6, queen takes c6, I'm feeling good about that position. So white has to do something about the pressure here. But yeah, this loses a piece for white. Unless they can get it back with c3, maybe they can. So if I take here, I guess there is this move, huh? Okay, let's take with the knight then. So if c3, at minimum, I'll have knight takes f3 in this case. This is looking pretty good. I feel like I can slightly improve my webcam here. 1 second, folks. I'm going to shrink that just a little bit. Shout out to Lupare if you're watching, by the way, one of our Lichess mods. I will take a look at your proposals for a OBS layout. Haven't got around to it yet, but thank you for sending those. I think I can take here. This looks pretty good because of queen a1 checkmate. It'd be interesting for white to play bishop b5 check here. That might actually be a reasonable try, but I think I'll go king f8 against that. Yeah, and this move doesn't stop checkmate because I still control c2. Okay, thank you, Ursula, for the game. If we take a quick look at that, yeah, so f3, kind of the rule in these accelerated, hyper-accelerated dragons is white should not commit to f3 until knight g4 is actually a threat. And as of now, you've got g4 covered by your queen. Yes, black would be hitting d4, but that line is not of serious consequence to you. So you probably should play bishop c4 here. That is the main move. Now, let's just take a very quick look. Like, I tried to punish it immediately with d5. But yeah, indeed, this is not the best move for me because bishop b5 pounces and threatens to take here. And if I go here, that leaves this pawn unguarded. So that was one opportunity for white to kind of wriggle free of that perhaps slight move order inaccuracy. Excuse me. I'm glad I got that sneeze out of the way early. All right, so yeah, bishop b5, because after this, I feel like the position opens up in black's favor. And this is, I think, white miscounting the attackers and defenders. Knight takes d4. Probably c3 should be played. But at minimum, I have this. Yeah, maybe rook d1 as well. I think after castles, queen takes a2, it's pretty bad. This was worth a try, though. Check. Because if I were to take, that would backfire pretty hard. Queen d8. So maybe white could toss that in and see if black falls for the bait. But I can play king f8. Oh, thank you, Mr. Carpel. Says, bless you. Thank you. Yeah, that was a big sneeze. All right, thank you for the game. We're up to 50+ challenges now. Destroyer, you're up next. Good luck to you, 1792. B4. All right. Now, I know you can play c6. This is an attempt to, like, refute b4. I don't think this is wise, but I'm going to give it a shot. Let's see how it goes. Have I seen the Lichess maintenance page? The artwork is excellent. Yeah, you know, that is that the one with like the alien playing? It's like the 404 error page. I do like that one. Hello, Jaideep. Thank you for tuning in. What's up, Gustavo? Where do we have people tuning in from today? Feel free to type in the chat on both YouTube or Twitch, whichever platform you're on, where you're tuning in from. We'd love to hear from it. We'll play e5. A lot of pawn moves here by white. Lviv. Oh, very nice. Lviv, Ukraine, the Netherlands, Norway. It's castle here. Maybe I'll go for e4, but let's try to time it a little bit. I'm going to go h6, actually, in preparation for this. Victoria, BC, Singapore. Another person from the Netherlands, Scotland. PT. What is PT? Ooh, this move could be good. But maybe I take here. Let's take that one. Denmark, Norway, Los Angeles, England, Pakistan, the Ozarks. Let's take this one. Missouri, California. You're live from the London system, says the symmetrical Englishman. Very nice. PT is short for Portugal. Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that. Portugal. Okay, little test for my opponent. So if white takes on e5, they're going to lose this knight at the end. Amsterdam. Okay. Yeah, we have a lot of Dutch viewers here. This is another good move. I'm struggling here. Ooh, I might actually really be in trouble in this position because my queen is kind of trapped. I think I might be in big trouble here. Let's see, though, if white can capitalize. It's a little tricky still because white has to figure out where to put the bishop. Oh, I see a good move, though. Okay, I think bishop c1 was actually the move. There's bishop takes e5 as well, but that would always allow some sort of queen a3 defense. Now I do get this. I think bishop c1 was trapping my queen, actually, because if queen c5, d4, very weird queen trap. But I think that was legitimately trapping my queen. Now I might be up a pawn. We'll check that out afterwards. This is a mental note for me, not to try to punish unusual openings. I tend to get in trouble when I try to do that. So good reminder. All right, let's bring this back now. Now we're just chilling. I have an extra B pawn here. Just got to watch the time. Okay, now I'll take. I think that's kind of a weakening move, though, because I get up here. Now I can attack this pawn. Hard for white to defend. Bishop a3 winning on d6. Oh, you mean like the bishop takes e5 line? Yeah, I actually don't think that was best for white either. Because not only could I play like bishop takes e5 hitting the queen, but there were other issues too. We'll take a look at it afterwards. Let me just make sure I can secure this victory. Bishop c1 was the only move there that was a discovery on my queen on b4 that also secured this square. That's why I think it was so strong. Okay, let's just go here. I'm trying to trade. Pre-move this capture. My opponent's trying to avoid trades, which makes sense. Knight d3, I'll go here. Okay, let's take. Let's go here. Let's go here. Let's take. Oh, okay. That was a free knight, but, well, not a free knight, but it was a trade. My opponent didn't take it, though. All right, so looking good. I'm up a piece and a pawn. Just got to convert now. Go bishop back here. Go after this pawn. I like it. We like it a lot. Keep pushing. Time's the only big factor here. An ever-present factor. All right. Good game, Destroyer. Let's take a quick look at that. Yeah, I might have paid the price for, I don't know, slightly overextending. I think c4 is a great move, as far as I can tell. That's actually the move. So, okay, this c6, queen b6 thing, it's really, really odd looking, but you're trying to play against the bishop here. Now, I know white can play c4 in this position. This is supposedly the main line of this mini variation, because if you take, it's not a free pawn. White throws in c5. And if I take, there's this, and that wins for white, actually, because of a strange double attack. So when white played c4 later, it was kind of shades of that variation. Okay. One thing I didn't appreciate here, so the engine says I can react calmly. I can defend this pawn if I want. I didn't appreciate that c5 maybe is not yet a threat because I can take. Again, because of the pressure here. Ooh, yeah, it's very risky looking with my queen, but apparently white has nothing here. And what about later? Let's look at this moment. Yeah, look at this. So in this position, I'm somewhat worse despite being up a pawn and having the move. Rook b1, excellent move. Not biting on the pawn on e5, because that would have lost the knight on d2 at the end. And there you have it. Bishop c1. That was the magic move. You know, when there's like one square that keeps cropping up in various lines, so if white moves this bishop elsewhere, like here or takes, there's just always this a3 square I have available, as happened in the game, this and this. When there's one square like that, you should try to engineer ways in your mind to accomplish your goal while keeping that square under observation. You know, like that should be instantly where your mind goes. So that's, to me, why I thought about bishop c1. And I was very thankful my opponent didn't play it. Queen trap. And if here, I mean, it's bizarre, but d4. And I'm sunk. I could go take a bishop, but that's about it. Oh, I guess I could do this and then get this over here, but yeah, I'm down a piece. Bishop c1 setting up for the next game? Indeed. Indeed. Okay, so dodged a bullet there against Destroyer. Thank you for the game. All right, we're up to 69 challenges now. Elupini, you're up next. Let's play e4. What's up, Tom Walker? Hello, Cat Bell as well. Oh, and that was Matt. Matt says, that was me in that first game. Can't believe I got a game. I was totally quaking in my boots and immediately collapsed, of course. A pleasure to play you nonetheless. Oh, yeah, thank you. The first game of the session. Yes, thank you very much. Appreciate you challenging. TN Khan says, nice. Yeah, I was waiting for that. Someone pick up on that. Hello, Belgian novice. Good to see you, man. Greetings to Belgium, Belgian, and also Belgium, the country. Okay, e5. Now, I think in this exact position, this is not supposed to be that good. Now, I know I can take here, but I believe knight f5 is even slightly stronger. e5 is possible in a lot of Sicilians, but I think in this version with bishop g5, it's just not so desirable because you're stepping into a pin. How long am I going to stream? We're going to stream for the next hour and 45 minutes. So, yeah. Get ready, I guess. All right, so I have some play on the light squares here. Let's see where it leads. Yo-Yo says, this is my 4th Sunday trying for a challenge. We'll see if it works this time. I hope so. I hope it works for you. I don't really know how I want to play this. Let's go here. Secure the bishop a little bit. I'm vaguely thinking about attacking white's king if white castles this way, like g4. This is not the most strategic way of playing it, but I kind of think I might be loaded up for g4 and then moving the bishop and potentially attacking over there. Let's play g4, just a shot across the bow right now. Because I think Elupini might be scared and go this way and drop this pawn in the process. C4 is explosive indeed. Hello, Reed, by the way. Good to see you in the chat. Hello, Just, checking in from Amsterdam as well. All right. A great city, Amsterdam. Hello, Magic Pig. All right, should I jump up here now? Yeah, let's do it. Block the attack down here. Last round of the Sinkfield Cup today. I have not had a chance to look at any of the games because I was getting ready to go live for you guys, but I believe they are live right now. Started about 45 minutes ago. Should I take this? I mean, the bishop on No, that would be a terrible move because of this, so no rush. I wasn't really thrilled about it anyways because I like my knight on d5. Thank you, GHH, says Go John. Big thanks to Lichess for making this happen every week, by the way. Make sure you use all the tools on Lichess, everything that Thibaut programs and the very long list of community contributors suggest and implement. It's truly, truly a wonderful resource, and we're very thankful to have Lichess in the chess community. It's really a chess public service, as I like to say. And thanks to Thibaut and everyone else who makes Lichess what it is. Okay, that's probably a good move. I'm going to take here now because this comes with check, so at least my opponent can't take my rook. And then I'm thinking go here. I don't know how thrilled I am about this position, though, without taking the knight. I think I might have to take this knight soon. You know? It might be forced. There's a here. I don't really like that. I guess I could go c4 there. And then castle. How do I feel about that? Let's just do it. Let's just play this. Thibaut is the creator of Lichess? Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yeah, okay. I think queen b5 was much better there. Queen b5 I was kind of worried about. Against this one, I feel like I more or less have like a free hand to attack now. Play h4. Go for this. Bishop defends the rook down here. I got to play faster. That much is clear. Yeah, I mean, why not? Let's push. Black's going a little defensive with these last few moves. So I feel we have the initiative on our side. I'm going to go queen h5 next move. Shout out to Lopare, No Joke Chess. Our mods out there, too. We usually have at least a mod or two watching. Making sure you guys don't misbehave. This is a nice move. Defends here, attacks f7. Yeah, black can try this, but I don't think it's going to lead to much. Because I can block these checks. So we'll go here. There's a check there. It's probably step over now. Captures that. Okay. Now what? Let's go here. And now we'll take. Just bring this back. Capture this pawn. And that should be over for the most part. Elupini playing very fast, but I don't think it should be enough. Okay, good game, good game. Very good game. I think queen b5 was your chance there. I think queen c7 was just a little too passive. Let's take a look. Yeah, right at this moment. So on queen b5, not only are you hitting this, but you also have knight d3 as an option. So I was probably going to play this move c4, give you this pawn, and then probably castle. Engine says h4. I probably would have got my king to safety here. And I do like white's position, despite being down a pawn, because I feel like this bishop is a pretty nice piece. But your knight, admittedly, is pretty good. Yeah, I might have to do this and like try to get this pawn. Still a lot to play for here. Still quite unclear. So, yeah, I think you just went defensive at the wrong time. And then white is better, but, you know, time scramble at this point. Good game. Thanks, Elupini. Yeah, you'll want to look into e6 there. That is the main move. So pawn e6. You can also play knight bd7. That gets some split play as well. But historically, this is the main line. Knight f5. I think in hindsight, I probably should have played this. I've done this in the past here. This sort of thing. This might be a better version of what I got in the game. So, yeah, you can play e6 against moves like bishop e2, bishop e3, bishop c4. But against bishop g5 with the pin, it's not so wise to walk into that pin. Okay, thank you very much for the game. A Happy Pawn, you're up next. I remember us playing. Yeah, good luck to you, Happy Pawn. We'll play d4. Oh, pre-move, knight f6. Okay. Budapest Gambit. Budapest. All right, let's go bishop f4. Block here. I'd say that Budapest is like a borderline acceptable Gambit, you know? It's right there. It's on the verge of being sound. Now, queen e7, I think, is almost mandatory there because now h3 is highly unpleasant for black. This knight's going to have to retreat here. Ideally, you'd be taking the pawn on e5, and that's why queen e7 is useful. Oh, thank you very much, RW. I appreciate that message. Happy Pawn is ruthless, went for the throat last time. I vaguely remember that. Yeah, I can't quite recall, but I do remember Happy Pawn being pretty aggressive, despite the username. Thank you for the reminder, Reed. Okay, let's take. Oh, yeah. Moves like this, I guess, are a reminder. Let's take here. My queen is defended, so this is not a, oh no, my queen moment. But you can't do the queen trade. The queen trade, not going to help black. Have to keep the queens on there to have a chance. Bishop h7 threat. Do not play knight g6. Knight g6 a big blunder. Okay. Pawn g6 I can probably still take. Kind of a weird operation, but attacks this. I guess there is this move. There was bishop a4 there. Would have been a better chance for black. Can I play versus your username? So I'm accepting challenges randomly. I don't have any control over it other than clicking the accept random challenge button. But feel free to challenge. If you put in a challenge, you've done as much as you can. Let's put it that way. You've maximized your opportunities. Now we're going to win a rook or promote. So Happy Pawn resigns. Thanks for the game. So in a lot of these gambits, you got to get the move order right, Happy Pawn. So right here, you need to play queen e7. Honestly, bishop takes c3. I think that was played a little early by you. Looks like it does get played. I'm most used to people playing this first. Probably doesn't matter, though, does it? But basically, you need to play queen e7 and threaten knight takes e5. And make white decide if they want to defend that pawn. I have a line I analyzed in a d4 course that I created where queen d5 and now f6. You don't want to castle here because, if you castle, it gives white time to play h3. That's not good. And you don't have enough firepower to take here. So f6, you can see we're following quite a few variations here. This is somewhat better for white, but black has chances. White's pawn structure is kind of poor. Black has some open lines. They're a little ahead in development. This is probably about the max you're going to get in this line for black. Ooh, I got a 5 average centipawn loss here. Can barely see that, but single-digit average centipawn. Okay, thanks for the game, Happy Pawn. All right, Ben, we're up. Don't really remember our game that we've played. Okay, e4. Let's play a Pirtz. Pirtz territory. e5, kind of a transpositional move. I'm rather fond of these queenless middle games, I gotta say. I know this is not everyone's cup of tea, but I like playing these positions personally. So we're going to play like this. We'll go c6, stick the king on c7. I don't mind if white takes because I'm happy to get the bishop pair out of this. This dark square bishop could be very strong now. These positions are deceptive because even though I've moved my king, black has a more robust and flexible pawn structure than white does. It's hard for white to make use of their pawns much, whereas black has like relatively free play with the pawns. They're not inhibited by their pieces. So, for example, I'm going to play this now. 2 points of contact. And I think white already has to start considering how they're going to defend in this position. Let's play this knight up here, guarding the b3 square. This is shaping up pretty well. If I can double rooks, I'm pretty much winning here. Thinking about sending this here. Yeah, I feel like I really shouldn't care about this pawn. Like, I literally shouldn't care about f6. When I'm on the verge of getting all my pieces in the game and delivering a checkmate on a1. Or possibly a2. Okay, so white goes there. Interesting. I mean, the position is so promising here. I almost want to like let white take this bishop and double up the rooks, but I don't think that quite works. Well, even that might work, to be honest. Could I try this? Here, take, here. How is white going to escape that? And they can move the c pawn, but then b3, it looks terrible. It looks awful for white. What else would make sense? I mean, I can take here. That's probably also decent. I could just take here and then take here. I don't know. We're going to adhere to the rule. But that, I don't know if I'm mating, though, if I do this. I see a flaw now. There, take, there, b3, rook a1. Yeah, it's too speculative. It's just too speculative. All right, we're going to take after spending all my time. And now I'm going to go here. This is like the pedestrian way to play it. I think it wins, but I wanted something flashier. Now this and cut off king c2. Forcing white to take. Now I don't see any mate per se, so I'm just going to do this. Just play this position. We'll take a look, though. I am very curious if there was a straight-up win there. I didn't see one, but I'm very curious now. Still got to win this game. I still got to make sure I have enough time to win. Let's go here. Okay, good try. I still got to be careful. This is not super easy, folks. Let's go here. Should still be winning, but the time, obviously a big factor. Don't play rook f8. I'm going to take your rook if you do that. Pre-move this, probably. Check. And we're going to get a little mating pattern. Vukovic's mate. Forced take. Okay, that was closer than I would have liked, though. Typical me. I try to tank on a move where I think I have a forced win, don't come up with a forced win, and then I'm forced to like play a time scramble. Little word to the wise, don't spend over a minute in a 3-minute game. Okay, let's see in this position what's best. Bishop takes c1. Ooh. Okay, so oh yeah. Okay, because if rook takes, I have bishop a2 probably. Yeah, that should be pretty elementary. Bishop a2. That really traps white in. It's funny what the computer is giving here. It's giving some repetitions, like move the bishop and then check again on a2, but I mean, I would probably play something like this. Threaten to double. Force white to go b3 to try to free their king. Yeah, that's completely crushing. All right, so I didn't execute this the right way. I wanted to go rook a5, take, and then here. But if white plays b3, I couldn't find a mate. And indeed, white's winning there. The knight on c1 guards the ever-important a2 square. Okay, but overall, yeah, this position was a little too sketchy for white, even though white gains the better pawn structure by playing bishop takes f6 or inflicts some damage on us. The dark square bishop, important asset for black. So you don't want to play this way for white. Better to continue development and try to coordinate. Okay, thanks for the game, Ben. You almost got me towards the end. Extra man. Okay, 1,500 with a question mark. 2,000 bullet, though, so let's keep that in mind. Are you there, extra man? Guess not. All right, we'll go on to the next game. Milkiri. Or Milkiri. Good luck to you. Oh, welcome to all the first-time chatters, by the way. I see you guys on Twitch. Let's play Alekhine's defense. Jochen's defense. Knight c3 is a common reply. I'll try to play this in interesting fashion. We'll go knight e4. Could also play d4 or knight fd7. Ooh, f4. I don't know about f4. That seems a little shaky to me. Okay. Let's go e6. Looking for check. Not sure if this one's the best either. But we played it. Okay. Take now. Now, I kind of feel like fianchettoing, but I'm going to go c5 first. Kind of thinking about fianchettoing against this queen, but better to control d4, probably. This is some weird-looking French, almost. All right, and if I can get rid of the light square bishop, maybe I'm okay with that. Just play with the better pawn structure. This could be an interesting idea. Let's see how much white wants to keep this pawn. Like, will white play king d1 in order to keep it, or queen d3? Both of which look awkward. Queen d3, I can even go c4. But let's find out. Every French is weird looking. Yeah, it's a very quirky opening, which is probably why I don't like playing it for either side. It's like the quirkiest mainline opening. It's the third most popular response to e4. And it produces some positions that still look pretty alien to me, even in some of the main lines. John, what profession might you have gravitated towards if it weren't for chess? Interesting question. I guess we'll never know, but I was in law school prior to doing chess full time. So probably I would have stuck around in the legal profession. But I don't know. I definitely wasn't passionate about law. I'll tell you that. So I recognize its important role in society, but I couldn't tell you. I think I would have had to branch out and experiment more. I love that comment from John. John Stevens says, I've never had any luck playing the Alekhine, and I've never had any luck pronouncing it. You and me both, man. Totally agree with that sentiment. Okay, check. We can just block. Interesting. So white's kind of triangulating their queen to attack this pawn. I can stick the king on d7, though. That's not at all absurd. Again, we're playing a French, so anything goes here. King's actually pretty safe here. But if white castles, I guess I got to watch knight f4 in some cases. That might be a concern, huh? So let's think. Now I might take here. And if check, I can go here. And that should be okay. That should be all right. Let's do it. It looks a little risky, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's playable. These pieces aren't looking too good for white. Maybe if knight f4 without the rook coming in first, I have queen f5. That could be an idea. Oh, you bet, Lusaso. Yeah, it's interesting to mix up openings. I tend not to just stick to my main lines when I do Lichess plays. Have I watched Better Call Saul? No, I have not. I have not seen that show. I hear people talk about it, though. Yeah, let's go here. Yeah, I did see this move. This is an interesting try because white attacks my queen. So let's see how good it is, though, because I can win that pawn. Let me think where I want to put my king. King to what square? King to what square? I don't know. I'm going to go here, actually. This looks kind of awkward, but I want to win this. White has to take. And I don't want my king to be a target when all is said and done, so that's why I'm playing like this. If the king's like here, I feel like this bishop can go attack it somehow. So we'll play it like this. Thank you, Tiberian, for the raid on Twitch. We greatly appreciate it. Thanks much. Greetings, everyone. Just joining. This is Lichess Plays. I am International Master John Bartholomew, and I play people in Blitz in these sessions for 2 hours. Pretty much every Sunday. Oh, this is a 3+2 game. Okay, definitely didn't notice that. That's pretty important. Do remember, guys, don't challenge increment. It's 3-0 only on Lichess Plays. This is the first time I'm noticing this, but problem is the increment games go on for a long time, or can go on for a long time. So, all right, h5, knight f6. Can I escape that? It's a bit of a weird perpetual idea. I'm going to try, though. Let's go here now. I want to cover f6. We want to cover that square. Still looking to convert this. Take this pawn if white advances. And let's go here. Not going to take a5 yet, at least not with the bishop. I think I can take that. Yeah, let's just take. Start advancing. This bishop's kind of nice. It restricts the white knight. They're sort of holding each other, but it's nice nonetheless. There we go. We pick up a free piece. All right. Thanks, Milkiri, for the game. Yeah, interesting one. I wonder what the eval is right around here. Computer says advantage black. Doesn't want me to chill with my king in the center, though. It says castle. Give the pawn on e6 and then get the king to safety, I assume. Yeah, in hindsight, that looks better. I think you had reasonable play. Even after this, knight takes d5 is a nice move. Wasn't quite sure where to put my king. Yeah, Engine says you have plenty of compensation here. So maybe with more time, could have figured something out. Thanks for the game, though. All right, who's up next? Tadziol. Yeah, I remember. We played a few times, haven't we? Good luck to you. E4. All right, so I played Pearts. I played Alekines. Let's play a Karakhan. I've also played Sicilian. Hello, Twitch watcher. Says, hey again, you should stream for Lichess more. Oh, well, I feel like I already do stream quite a bit. This is a weekly event for 2 hours. And just a reminder, on my personal channel, I'm very often playing and streaming on Lichess too. My personal channel is just my name, my full name, John Bartholomew. So feel free to follow me over there too. All right, I'll go e6. I don't think this is the most consistent move. You know, this d3 approach is actually a pretty legit line. It offers to go into an endgame. Magnus actually played that endgame in like a Norwegian league game a few months ago, and he didn't win. He played another Norwegian grandmaster, and he only drew the game. But he did play that line as white, and he got a winning position. He was winning. Am I taking challenges in order? No, the challenges are completely random. So if anyone challenges, they're put in a pool of players, and we randomly select from that pool. So it's not in order of when you challenge. Can we have more 960 arenas on Lichess? You know, I'm not a big variant guy. I don't play a lot of variants. However, there was one of the Chess 960 World Championship qualifiers going on today. I didn't see who did well in it. I think they, as far as I understand, they go to like a playoff system. But if anyone knows the results, feel free to let us know. There's a bunch of title players playing, a bunch of grandmasters. I think Hikaru was playing, even though he, you know, is a chess.com streamer. I think he was playing that. Okay, I like my position here. I've got some pressure on d4, and most importantly, I have the light square bishop outside the pawn chain. Unlike a French where it would be sitting here, we've got that bishop liberated. I think white's fine in this position, but it's not the easiest position to play. I slightly prefer black here. So let's go rook c8. I don't really care about white taking here because this pawn's going to fall. So we'll give white further choices. Now I'm going to take here. And then take here. So hit this and maybe threaten to take here at some point soon. Hekalar says, did you watch the YouTube clip from the Danish National Symphony Orchestra playing The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly? No, I didn't get a chance to look at that yet. I forgot about that, but I'll try to do that. Okay, so I win the pawn back. With interest. I'm up a pawn now. Got to keep an eye on g7. Like, I want to make sure if white ever puts their queen on the g file, I'm not falling for checkmate. Looking good, though. We're up a pawn. We're up over a minute on the clock. John, any comments on Magnus withdrawing from the tournament? You know, I talked about it a little bit on my personal channel. Not a whole lot, because, I mean, it's just been dominating the chess news, and I feel like 99.9% of what has been said is just pure speculation and not really based in fact, at least as far as what we know. So I don't have much to add or formally say, I guess. I'm kind of disappointed by the whole situation for sure. I think Magnus should clear the air and clarify why he withdrew, because certainly his tweet gave rise to a ton of the speculation that has been going on. It was a catalyst for that. We've had statements from the Grand Chess Tour. Obviously, Hans had a very, I'd say, open interview a few rounds ago. It was about a 30-minute interview that was posted on the St. Louis channel. Chess.com even has come out with a statement. So really, it's only Magnus who you could basically argue kind of launched this whole thing. Really, only Magnus is the one party who has not clarified what's going on, or at least how he perceives it. So I hope that he puts something out. I do like Magnus a lot. I think he's a great guy and a great ambassador for the game. But um, yeah, he could handle this better, and I hope he does, because it has gotten a little out of control. Okay, thanks, Tads, for the game. So I think this whole line is pretty nice for black. I would not have played e5 here. I think that's kind of inconsistent with how you handled it, you know? I think you got to play like bishop e2 or knight bd2. Leave this pawn on e4. You already went through the trouble of playing d3, so I think you should build up around that pawn. Thanks for the game. And by the way, you were asking my opinion. I want to state like this is not, I'm not speaking for Lichess at all, even though I'm on Lichess Plays right now. I think that's pretty obvious. This is just my own take entirely. Not that I said anything radical, but let's just be very clear about that. Good luck to you, iJane. Hello, Mohammed, by the way, too. Okay, so kind of a bolder mix. Can I analyze that position you put in the chat? I can't bring that up. I do see the FEN string that you put in, though. Yeah, we're not doing game analysis, but I appreciate you asking. All right, now I'm going to throw an h6. I kind of like throwing this move in just to stop bishop g5. We'll go here, and we're going to build up around this pawn. Keep this protected for now. Yeah, sure thing, Casplink. Thanks for tuning in today. You know, funnily enough, I actually taught a U.S. chess school many years ago, like 2014, where Hans attended. He was obviously really young at the time, but I got to see him play and solve stuff, participate in class discussions at that point. There were a lot of talented juniors there at that time. Some of the best kids in their age category in the U.S. I feel like I've had almost this exact position before. In fact, I don't think this is such a bad plan for white, but it makes the king side a little bit shaky. Let's go knight b4. I feel like this could be kind of annoying for white because hits the bishop, helps anchor this. Did I watch the Ukrainian FM's video on Hans? No, I haven't watched that. Should I even take this bishop? I don't know if I should take it. Yeah, let's do it. It's a pretty nice piece, so I guess I'll take it and play d4. This rook looks a little awkward here now. Okay, let's go here. Hit this bishop. I don't think this sacrifices sound. White might go for it, but it doesn't feel like it should work. Is Hans from Minnesota? No, he's not. I think he's lived several different places in the U.S. I remember he was in he was living in the Bay Area for a while. I think more recently he was living on the East Coast of the U.S. And as his interview states, I think for the past couple years he's been traveling just a ton for chess. And in his words, like living out of a suitcase, basically. Spending a lot of time in Europe, I think. What's up, T-Best Little Helper? Ah, you're a mod. Okay. T-Best says, bishop takes h6 never works, yet I always play it and it somehow ends up working. Well, that's nice. That's nice if that happens. Ooh, this looks super sketchy for white, but I don't see... this might be the move. Bishop here looks very awkward for white. Yeah, because now the queen's going to have to run away here or here, and then I can take and cash in on f3. He actually said living in a suitcase? Okay. Living in a suitcase. Like Oscar the Grouch, except it's not a trash can. It's a suitcase. Let's do this one. Could also take this way, of course, but we'll take it with a rook. Look for discovered attacks. Just double, get everything in the game. Pretty routinely winning position here. Take this. Too much material. All right, thank you for the game. So you kind of mix this knight c3 system with the Bodler bishop c4. Those of you who play the Sicilian out there will know that a lot of online opponents do like bishop c4, but I think in the Sicilian, it's not too promising of a plan for the simple reason that white, unlike e4, e5, or black rather, unlike e4, e5, has not committed the pawn 2 squares forward. So when black can play the pawn 1 square forward, block the bishop, it always diminishes the scope of this piece. And d5 is often on the agenda. So I think you played it reasonably, Jane. I just think the positions are not so promising for white. You're just a little bit worse here. Probably should play something like, I don't know, knight e5 soon. Yeah, maybe bishop b3 to start, save the bishop. Try to get this going, attack here. But it's hard to play against those center pawns, no doubt. I would suggest looking into a different line than bishop c4 base setups. I see Levon played bishop c4 versus Sicilian a lot lately. Yeah, he has played that. That's true. Bishop c4, d3. He handles it a little bit different than what we saw here, but I would also think if you were to ask Levon, he'd say, yeah, these lines are probably not worth very much theoretically. But you do see top players try it every once in a while, trying to play along the lines of like an Italian game almost. Or Re Lopez. Okay, thanks for the game. Oh, Aryan, I see your challenge up here. We have German Gangster up next. Let's play d4. German Gangster. I'm going to play knight f3. And then maybe this. I used to play this system every once in a while. This is a direct transposition to a Pirtz. Okay, what to do here? Let's play bishop e3. Ooh, e5. That's a very early e5. That's not good, right? Because unlike a King's Indian, okay, I think black's playing along lines of a King's Indian, but this is a big difference. Yeah, this is just not good for black. This version of it. Check. Ooh, boy. This could get unpleasant for black. Probably not immediately winning. King e8, knight b5, there's knight a6. Definitely not immediately winning, but pretty nice. I'm looking for some knockout blow. I'm not seeing it. Let's just go f3. Stabilize things. There might be this move, though, admittedly. Knight takes e4. Black's king would have been stuck in the center, but that was probably the best way to play it. Okay. All right, let's go here. We'll try to keep black's king kind of stuck here for now. Hello, Aisha Khat. Thank you for tuning in. Refreshing the YouTube chat for a second here. I feel like I missed some messages, but no, the YouTube chat has just been kind of silent. All right, bishop e5 defends this. Maybe knight d4. Let's do that. Bishop e5, I think, is a good defensive move. Holds the pawn on c7. So it makes sense. Aryan Tari. Oh, you were talking about the Norwegian GM who Magnus played in that D3 Caroline. No, it was I forgot the guy's name. Gersun Tyakson, something like that. Forgot his name exactly, but or no, Ostmo. Ostmo, I think, is his last name.
Hey, John, this is Guys.
He played really well. Oh, sorry for that alert. If you heard, "Hey John, this is Guys," that's an alert from my channel. Apparently, I have my own channel sub alerts on. Make sure I mute those. That's funny. All right, let's go here. I've got a monster dark square bishop here. Looking really good. I'm up a pawn with a really strong dark square bishop. Position should be technically winning, but let's make sure we can convert. Go here. Give a check. Seems very dangerous for black. Ooh. They're getting caught in the crossfire here. Monster pin coming up too. Guess the rook can move somewhere like here, one of these squares, but this is not pleasant for black. I guess I'm threatening this move, and then here or here. That should work. Attack the rook, which is in turn defending the knight. If f6, we'll take. Yeah, take. Too much. Knight e5 here. Or we can do this and take. Can walk right into black's position. Just a cleanup job here. All right. Thank you, German, for the game. So, yeah, this was a transposition to a Pirtz, which you have to take into consideration as a King's Indian player, okay? I've actually played this line a couple times in the past, even over the board, because I have this theory that King's Indian defense players do not like to put their pawn on d5. They're so used to putting it on d6. Pawn d5 probably is the best move here, theoretically, because it stops e4. You can play bishop g7. Like, there's no problem with this move. It's just that after e4, you're not in a King's Indian anymore. You're in a Pirtz. It's a different set of theory. It can sometimes play like a King's Indian, but it is subtly different with white having the knight here with the pawn back on c2. The positions just play a little differently. And I think maybe my opponent's lack of experience with that caused them to play a move that in the King's Indian can get played pretty early, although admittedly black only ever plays it after castling usually. But was just a bad move here. Just lost a pawn here. So maybe think about that, whether you want to go into that opening or whether d5. I actually picked this up from looking at the games of this British Grandmaster, Mark Hebden. He's a longtime player on like the English chess circuit. And I noticed like over the years, he's had a lot of success with this move order as white. He plays a lot of like interesting d4 systems that are not quite mainline, but quite tricky in their own right. So definitely a possible move order to try. It bears some resemblance to the Jobava London as well, where you're playing knight c3 in front of the c-pawn. Okay, thanks for the game. Who's up next? Suad. Hey, Suad. Greetings to you. Good luck. Let's play C4 a la Ali Reza. Ali Reza has been playing a lot of C4 lately. So let's try it ourselves. Maybe like a Bothanic English? Yeah, I think I'll do that. I'll go for E4, knight GE2. Oh, thank you, Basid, by the way. I see your comment on YouTube. He says, hi, John. Have a great session ahead. That sub to your channel was me. Well, thanks. I appreciate the sub. That caught me by surprise because I'm not used to hearing my own Lichess or my own personal alerts on Lichess. You like this setup, Tom? This one for white? Yeah, it has its value for sure. Now, if A6 gets played, I usually play A4 to stifle counterplay. This is all pretty standard. Who knows why I'm playing H3? Like, why waste time on that move? Let's go here. We're going to start a gradual pawn storm. Oh, you played this opening, Cormac? Nice. Shout out to Cormac. All right, let's go F5. We're going to push forward here. That is correct. Yes, a couple you pointed out. We're playing H3 to stop knight G4 so we can park our bishop there without worrying about knight G4. That is correct. Can I play a Jobava London? Yes, I can. Yes, I can. I do often play it, so I will make sure to do that. All right, so now G5 is obvious, although F6 I think could be a reply. What do I think about that? It looks interesting, though, because maybe I can support it with H4. This is one thing about the Bothanic English. Even though we are weakening our own king to some extent, the position is so closed, we can afford to do that in a lot of cases and get this big-time pawn storm. So a lot of tension here in this cluster. No trades so far in this game. We're 15 moves into the game. No trades have been made thus far, but I don't think that's going to be the case for much longer. Yeah, Simon Williams has a course on this line, along with I am Richard Palliser. That is correct. Okay, let's go here. I'm totally not threatening anything. Okay, we'll take here. So this is kind of nice because I feel like my light square bishop now is quite strong. Now, how am I going to play this on the king side? Let's get this up. Just bring another attacker into the fray. And I'm probably going to work up to H5. I think H5 is the next step here. Yeah, let's do it. I mean, maybe I could try to improve this further, but I think I'm ready for H5. So let's go. Ooh, and now knight F5. And now another nightmare in Suad's position. This is a big-time threat. We got H6. We got Queen G4. This king is looking awfully exposed here. Okay, Suad defending well, though. Let's go H6. Pushing our opponent to the limit. But I think this is going to be pretty decisive. How is that bishop strong if all those pawns stand in the way? Yeah, the light square bishop can be blocked, but in a lot of cases, we might put it here. Oh boy, I'm starting to look at some fun stuff here, guys. Like take king F8, queen G7. Could that possibly work? Man, it looks fun, but let's get more pieces in the game. Let's go here. Okay, so he goes to defend. That's a good defensive move. Or is it? I can still take F8. Ooh, oh, okay. All right, take here. And now check. Oh, man. I was thinking king F8. It's almost possible to play queen takes, but do I have anything cool here? Like this? Take? Bishop takes? It's not quite mating, is it? I don't see anything truly cool here, guys. So I think I'm just going to take. I mean, this is kind of a cool checkmate too, but I was looking for some sort of queen sacrifice. All right, thanks for the game, Suad. Yeah, just a little too passive. Once those pawns got rolling, you didn't really have any counterplay to speak of elsewhere. You know, I'll give you guys a little bit of advice in this system. Try to send a knight into d4 as black. So, like, one of the better ways to meet this line, I'm not a big fan of knight bd7, so say you go like c5 instead. c5, knight e2, castles, knight c6, d3. Black generally isn't going to be better on the king side because white's already starting to expand there, and with possible plans like this, long term I wouldn't recommend playing much on the king side for black, but you can try to gain counterplay in the center or on the queen side in some cases, but especially the center, I'd say. And this d4 square, because of the 2 pawns up here, that is a pretty weak square. So there's this maneuver. You can go knight e8, and let's just say I go here again. There's also bishop e3. But just for the sake of argument, knight c7, and then knight e6. You can try to get your pieces trained on this square and send a knight into that square, which is quite useful. You can, in some cases, play for this and b5 as well, although white will probably try to stop you. But that's a maneuver you might want to look into, Suad, if you're interested in playing this system. I would recommend putting the knight on c6 rather than d7, though, because your knights are kind of stepping on each other's toes, aren't they? Yeah. Yeah, I think this position is just too much. Too much. I think after queen g4, it's just a matter of time. No really cool mates, though. Alas. Okay, thanks for the game. Yeah, the final position was kind of cool, too. Power of the pawn on h6. Hey, Advait, good to see you. This is one of my students. Good luck to Advait. Let's play knight f3. When you play one of your students, you know their openings in detail, so let's see what he does against this move. This will give us good material to talk about in a future lesson. Oh, Advait, are you there? I don't know if he's there. He might be running back to his computer, furiously switching tabs. Okay, I think we're going to have to move on, Advait. I'm sorry, even though you're my student. We can always play a game in the lesson. Okay, wow, you're up next. If you beat him, that makes you a bad teacher. Well, it's funny. I've told this story. Wow, are you there? You are. Okay. So I used to work with Andrew Tang when Andrew was a master, working his way up. And he was an NM when we started working together. And he was, I think, 12 years old. And shortly after we started working together, we actually played in a local tournament here. And it was a really interesting game, Jinji Indian, and he beat me. He actually beat me in the very first game we ever played. And I honestly thought like his dad might fire me as a coach after that. I subsequently was able to beat him a few times. So I think my record overall might still be positive against him. But that's only because I played against him when he was pretty young. But the very first encounter, he did beat me. And I was supposed to be like his new coach at the time. It was pretty hilarious. But credit to his father. His father did not fire me. Andrew's definitely the most successful student I've ever had. He's obviously a beast now. One of the best blitz and bullet players online. I think if you're the best, one of the best bullet players online, you're de facto one of the best bullet players in the world. Because almost nobody plays in any serious way over the board bullet. There are just not over the board bullet tournaments played with an IRL, set for obvious reasons. I mean, it'd be a complete disaster. Ooh, Queen C2. This always makes me nervous because when you take, we're opening up the floodgates towards that queen. Yeah, white realizes that, takes this. Now I can take this pawn. I'm just thinking which way I'd like to do that. Let's do it this way. I know, and in the Gingy Indian, too, one of my favorite openings. Andrew took me down. Very sad. I still do like the Gingy Indian, though. Hello, Zachary. Good to see you. Oh, and Greg says, thanks, John. Botvinnik English is main opening as white. I would love to be able to finish such close positions as the Botvinnik Pawn Storm as you, though. Oh, thank you. Yeah. It's really fun to get those Pawn Storms in, isn't it? It doesn't always work out that way in the English. But in the Botvinnik, sometimes you can roll your opponent over if they're a little bit slow to get counterplay. All right, let's take here. And then I'm just going to double up and attack that pawn. Oh, yes, we were just talking about that, Royal Fork. Yeah, Simon's course. Which historical chess master would I love to play against the most? Definitely Morphy. Paul Morphy, no doubt. Okay, so if take, I think he's going to take with the knight. And that kind of liquidates. I could do that. This is actually probably a pretty good try. Could I also, like, take, knight takes f2? That would be interesting. Throw in the old in-between move. Ooh. Yeah, white didn't take. I don't think white saw this idea, because if they had, they would have played that. Now, so if here, bishop d4, e5. It's also bishop b4. Let's go here. Do I think I could beat Morphy? I think in a match I could beat him, yeah. But that's only if he doesn't have access to modern-day chess resources. I think I'd be a slight favorite against him in a match. But what do you guys think? It's very hard to size up, like, historical chess players. I mean, we can objectively kind of tell their strength based on their moves compared to the engines, what the engines recommend, but always tricky business. And it's never really fair to them because there's been so many advances in chess understanding all the resources. I definitely don't think I would wipe him out in a match, but I think I would be a slight favorite. This is defended, so I think I can do this. And my opponent resigns. All right, thanks for the game. Yeah, so got to be careful about those moves like queen c2. I'm trying to put gradual pressure on the white structure here. But queen c2 steps right into the pin. And that's why white had troubles and everything collapsed in the center. Now, you did have that one chance. I guess I probably didn't play this as well as I could have, huh? Bishop f6 better. Yeah, because you played a great move here coming up. Ooh, at least I thought it was a good move. But maybe... So I thought you were going to go knight takes c4 to win this, but maybe this is just a good reply. And you are losing another pawn. Interesting. Okay, so queen b5. I actually saw this move, but I didn't realize... I don't know what I didn't realize about this move. Queen b5 is annoying, though, because I can't take the c3 pawn. I lose the queen. And if I take here, at least you gain an attack there. Also, you can hit this. This is not so clear. That's probably your best chance later. Can't recall what I was going to do against this, but it did cross my mind. Okay, thanks for the game, WoW. Let's play another person. Wow, we're up to 84. Speaking of WoW, we're up to 84 challenges. Beznicki, you're up next. Morphy would feel crushed, confused, and depressed, though. I don't know. I'm sure he was very mentally strong to become the de facto best player in the world. Beznicki, I don't think you're there, so we're going to have to move on. Marsh Wiggle. Let's play. Someone asked for a Jobava London, so let's try to do that. Thank you, Chewy the Chewer, for rating on Twitch with a party of 7. Thank you very much. If you play Jobava London at the amateur level, you'll get this a lot. You'll get this a fair amount. But now we have a more conventional position. Mohammed says, I think a match would be 7-4 in favor of Morphe. Interesting. And also it depends on the time control too, right? Like if we're playing online bullet, I think I would adopt Paul Morphe. I didn't think I'd be uttering that sentence today, but since we're on the subject. If it was an online bullet match, I'm mercilessly flagging and adopting Morphe. Oh, thank you, King Berserk. Says, I'm looking forward to the remaining hour. Yes, me too. I'm playing this very aggressive in true Jobava London style. Morphe's mouse skills would be rusty. Exactly, yeah. Now, remember, in Morphe's day, they weren't even using chess clocks. Right? So, like, he's never played a time match in his life, probably. Or never did. Maybe they use, like, hourglasses or something, but chess clocks were not yet a thing. And a lot of his chess took place in, like, cafes, gathering places for chess players. Okay, let's go here. There's that famous Café de la Régence in Paris, where pretty much all the best players in Europe would play. Yeah, the opera, exactly. The opera, the famous opera game. Look at this. This is getting fun. King F8. Can I go here? Morphe would be quaking at this type of attack. He's like, I've never seen this opening. Jobava London wasn't a thing in the 1850s. Who is this guy? This John fellow. I'm the one who's supposed to be doing the attacking. Instead of flagging, it was sanding when your hourglass time ran out. It is a good historical question. I wonder if anyone out there can answer it. Okay, let me think how I'm going to win here. I can take this or this. I think taking the knight on g8 is best. I'm looking for a mate, but I'm not quite seeing it. I can take this too. Why don't we do that one? Because if take, then I'm going to take here. I want to say it wasn't until the 1890s that they started using chess clocks in some tournaments. Does that sound right? And Morphe played most of his chess in the 1850s. Most of his notable games. Okay, take, check. Let's bear in mind that this is the threat. Take, check again. Check again. This is covered. And this is mate. All right. Thank you, Marsh Wiggle, for the game. Interesting one. I kind of rushed you with the G and H pawns over here, but this is a little bit passive. I don't quite like that setup for you, especially bishop d7. It's a little bit too slow, I feel. Probably should go for like c5 here. Baku says the first time that game clocks were used was in a chess tournament in London in 1883. Okay, 1883. Let's see if you had any chance like after g5. It's maybe not so bad if you defend correctly here, but I admit this position's tough. Looks like knight g4 is the move. And this one loses outright. Yeah, very tough after this. Very, very tough. So bishop d7, a little bit passive. Even h6, kind of early. h6 actually gives me more of a license to go for this approach because of the old 2 points of contact theme. Like when g5 hits, it's hitting pretty hard because it attacks two things. Thanks for the game. Okay, Mouse Claws. You are up next. Let's play g3 in this one. A little flank approach. Well, we learned something new today. The first time a chess clock was used, I assume in competition, was 1883. Tournament in London, evidently. Was it like Hastings or something like that? And I would bet it was probably several years after that until they became common. Oh, Staunton? Really? Interesting. I'll have to do some research on this subject. I'm curious now. I like chess history, but I haven't read up on chess history much in recent years, I will say. So, like, my knowledge of chess history is mostly stuff that I recall reading from books like several years ago. By the way, if you like just kind of a broad overview of historically the best players of the past, kind of synopses about their life, their games, I would recommend Kasparov's My Great Predecessors. In the early books, like the first volume, he does a good job of going over real briefly just like the best players who are not world champions. So it talks a lot about players from the 1800s. I think even further back, I think he talks about like Greco, for instance, some of the early Italian, Spanish players. It would be really funny if Morphy laments about how much chess is better in his days when playing against you. Yeah. He'd probably be offended that I didn't like accept his gambits, you know? Because when you look back at a lot of these brilliant games of the past, especially in gambits, it feels like the person receiving the gambit was like very accommodating, you know? As if it were a mark of dishonor if you were to decline a gambit. So they were just like taking all the material, you know, multiple pawns, going down in flames. But that was probably considered the polite thing to do at that point. Like you don't decline a gambit. But as a result, it made some of the games look pretty one-sided. I'm taking all of Mouse Claw's minor pieces. Mouse Claw still has all their pawns, but they've lost all their minor pieces. Okay, let's take this one. And then let's go here. Oh, yeah, Life in Games of Mikhail Tal is a great one. Should I try to set a little trap? Nah, I'm not going to do it yet. Let's just go here first. I think Mouse Claw is not going to play Queen takes d4, but we might as well pre-move it because it's a free pre-move. We still have a similar thing today, don't we? You always accept the Stafford. You know, that's funny because I tell my students not to accept the Stafford. Okay, not all of them, but I do show a line. I played it on Lichess plays before that I think is pretty effective against the Stafford without having to accept it. But you're right. A lot of people do accept it. I've heard about this line. It goes 1d4. 1d4 is a pretty good anti-Stafford, anti-Petrov, anti-Marshall, anti-Sicilian weapon, indeed. All right. Thank you, Mouse Claws, for the game. So you developed your pieces pretty logically, but bear in mind, so when you have two minor pieces on the same rank with one square in between, you're susceptible to getting forked. And that's what happened here with this e4 move. E4, and your knight is a non-defender. I think you saw that due to the pin. So yeah, you're losing material here. So I think your previous move, castles, is the big blunder. Got to play something like bishop e7. Yeah, would be responsible. Breaks the pin. Also brings one piece back from that situation. Like, this is not inherently bad to have two minor pieces with one square in between, but you do have to be vigilant about pawn forks. Okay, thank you very much for the game. Who's up next here? Sukray. Hey, good luck to you, Sukray. Let's play. Let's see. What have I not played? Let's play knight c3 on move 1. What is this? The Van Geet? The Van Geet opening? This could transpose to like a Scandi or a Al-Yochin's defense. What's up, Omar? Hey, good to see you. All right. Here, do I play f4? I feel like f4 is the move. And then knight f3? Makes sense. Press up against this pawn structure. Empty Bottle says, I found a source saying that sand timers and watches were used as early as the 1850s. And if you flagged, you had to pay a fine. You had to pay a fine. That's interesting. That would be one way to solve time management issues if the players like literally had to pay fines if they got low on time or ran out. But maybe not. I mean, there's some people who are such chronic time troublers that even that would not solve it. In some modern day tournaments, I mean, I think FIDE at various times has had rules. Like if you show up to a big FIDE event, very official FIDE event, late for the round, like they will charge you something. Has the Stafford been refuted yet? I think it basically is refuted if you play like an engine, yeah. Like we're talking plus 2.5 or more advantage. Pretty significant. Okay, we're cramping this bishop. It's not yet lost, though. I'm just going to go c3 here, kind of shore up the structure. I like the look of this. Ooh, I really want to play this. I really want to play it. YOLO. Let's do it. Totally unnecessary. Would not recommend this. Do not try this at home. I'm up a pawn. There's no reason to play this. But it looks really fun, and Black's king is super awkward here. I think it's still good anyways, but, you know, risk-reward, probably unnecessary. Maybe I should have taken with the rook to try to get this over, but I think this is still quite good. There's a lot of very tempting moves here. Bishop h5, bishop e4. This is a reasonable defensive move because I wanted to go bishop d5 to threaten queen takes g6. So I'm tempted to try to set that up again somehow. But I'd have to, like, bring this back. I mean, maybe not the worst idea, though, because legitimately, what can Black really do here? Black is pretty stuck. This bishop is highly restricted. So let's just try it. Let's go here with the plan of this. Quite simply. Okay, there. Doesn't interfere with us. This is unstoppable almost. Black could play rook d5, but that's not looking too hot either. So here. And now just got to get the checkmate threat set up correctly. Probably take. Probably take and threaten queen h6 mate. Take with the rook. All right. Thank you, Sukray, for the game. Let's see if bishop takes h6 is sound. I'm going to be vindicated if the engine actually says it's the best move. Hey, there we go. Take that, Paul Morphy. Nah, Morphy would have played this too. No doubt. This is Morphy's wheelhouse. Yeah, best move. Because the position of the black king and this cluster of pieces is so poor, it makes this, I think, almost a no-risk sacrifice. But yeah, from a risk-reward standpoint, if you were at all unsure about this, in a game, like, don't do it, because you're up a pawn here. But I just didn't see how black was going to get out of this. Trash-talking Paul Morphy? Yes, I'm literally trash-talking a dead man. Someone who's, not been with us for like 150 years. Not my proudest moment. At least we're trash-talking him in the friendliest way, like wishing that we could play him because he was a genius. Shout out to Morphy, one of my favorite players. All right, thanks for the game, Sukray. Yeah, so I think you didn't quite recover from that weak structure in the center. And that is what white, in some ways, is hoping to prove with black playing d4. Like, this is a perfectly good move. But bear in mind, you gotta keep that extended pawn structure pretty well defended. So thanks for the game. Maybe you should play like c5. Maybe keep open the option of f6 after f4 in some cases. Yeah, I think this is maybe a little bit better what the engine's suggesting. So if ever I take, knight takes, and this is pretty well held. Thanks again for the game, Sukray. Okay, Kloss. Another Lichess patron. Good to see you. Let's play knight f3 in this one. The sign of a good chess player freaks out over dubious moves against a minus 1,000 player, someone 1,000 points lower. There's always stuff to learn, right? There's always ways you can improve. You always got to be checking your thought process. This is a solid way to play. I often play this way for black too. Let's go for a little queenside fianchetto. John, do you think playing Gambits benefits chess development for beginners? Yes, I do. Yeah. I wouldn't say you have to play Gambits, but I do know a lot of coaches who advise that, and I think it's a pretty good approach to play some Gambits, some high-quality Gambits. Not like super trappy type of openings where the trap is the only like redeeming value of them, but high-quality Gambits that lead to rich play. Absolutely. Like, I show a lot of my students this main line of the Italian game with c3 and d4, like the Mahler attack. I think there's a lot to be said for that. Leads to very interesting play. It worked out well for me when I studied those lines back in the day. I felt like I improved my understanding of the game quite a bit by doing that. Yep, Smith Mora absolutely could be a good opening for learning. I'm pushing a lot of pawns here, but the position's pretty closed, and I now have the bishop pair, so I'm liking it. Thoughts on the Nachmanson? Probably very tricky. I've never played it. I know what it is, but I've never played it. I'm sure it's quite tricky, though. As is this move, because I think black has to go knight g8 here. Because knight h5, very natural, is going to run into knight h4 when that knight is stuck on the side of the board. Oh, but knight g8, I can take g7, so I think black's in trouble here. Yeah. Wait a second. Black does have knight g3 if I go there. My tactical antenna was pinging a little bit. So where do I want to move this knight? Maybe knight h2. This might be the best move. There's also knight d4, but let's go here. Funny move. Knight h4 looked obvious, but knight g3 actually might save black there. I guess there was knight takes g6. Maybe I could have done that, but I like this because it kind of addresses that this is now on take. I'll go king d2. My king will be chilling in the center, but I think it's safe enough there. And win a piece. John, do I think Crazy House is a good variant to improve some aspects of my style? Crazy House, interesting. I don't know. I wouldn't think it has much independent value, but maybe there's something to be said for it. It's a very tactical variant, as is Bug House. I wouldn't take it too seriously, though. I actually think the variant 3 check is a good variant for improving calculation. If you're just looking for something that's not, conventional chess, but still has some training value, 3 check is pretty interesting. Exactly, Diffuser. 3 check does make you think hard. Let's get this back in the game. Defend this pawn. Because literally 3 checks wins the game in 3 check. Shocking, I know. And you can also win the normal way. So it's just the normal chess rules, but with the added rule that if you check your opponent 3 times, you win. So as you can imagine, the game becomes highly tactical. And calculation is everything. And traditional notions of material are immediately disrupted. Three times in all or 3 times in a row? 3 times total throughout the game. Yeah, it doesn't have to be in a row. Let's castle. He's probably going to double the rooks, but I don't particularly care about this pawn. Goes there. Ooh, and we got to establish the bathtub. Very important. Let's go here now. Just attack the knight. And go win the rook. So you win on check number 3? That's right. Yeah. You would castle early. May or may not be the right strategy. Thank you, Kloss, for the game. Appreciate it. So yeah, it's kind of funny, but I think after g5, you're pretty much losing here. Knight h5. Wow. Okay, so the engine doesn't even say that moving my knight is the best move. It suggests a completely different approach. C takes. It does seem like knight h4. Oh, d4. Wow, d4. Counterattacking move. That's a sneaky little resource. Check and go pick up that pawn. See, this is why you got to review your games. Like, d4 was not remotely on my radar here as a defense against this threat. The whole idea, try to deflect the pawn or the bishop. If I take with the pawn, black gets to go knight f4, and the knight is safe. If I take with the bishop, there's this check I was just showing, and then swing over and take the pawn, which in turn defends this and attacks here, which makes me think that was also possible against knight h2. Yes, indeed. d4, only move to keep black somewhat in the game. Sneaky, sneaky. Thanks for the game. I think that trade of the bishop for the knight, not so good. I would not have done that if I were you. Probably would have played something like h6 around here. Give your bishop an out at all times. Keep your dark square bishop. You're pretty solid for the moment. So thank you very much for the game. Tommy Weed, you're up next. 2093. We've never played before. Okay. Oh yeah, you're welcome, Woody Llama. Thanks for the game. Okay, we'll play a main line here. How about double checks? Yeah, double checks count as 1, I believe. Because it's just like that move, it's 1 check. But there's all sorts of interesting calculations with 3 check, right? Like, I think beginning players in 3 check overestimate the value of a check at the cost of material. Like, if you can get 2 checks early on, but you have to give up your queen to do so, it's almost certainly not worth it, because that is such a heavy price to pay that you might not recover and ever get in that 3rd check. If your opponent's literally up a queen, it's relatively easy if they're thinking not to allow that 3rd check. Whereas someone who, is playing it for one of the first times, they might be like, ooh, like I get 2 quick checks. I just need one more and I win. But hey, it may not be worth it. Because if you give up your queen, even if you got the 2 checks, like you're going to lose on the board eventually. And your opponent may not allow that third one. Basid asked an interesting question. John, do you use fitness trackers? I do not. No. Like one of those Apple Watches or something? Nope, never use those. All right, so I'm just trying to secure my position. I could take this, but then bishop takes, I suppose. I think I'm just going to defend here. I went for the h7 pawn instead of recapturing here. It just looked kind of interesting. But we have an interesting situation on our hands. Mohammed asks, what do you think would be Morphy's elo if he was born in this age with all these engines at his disposal? It's such a hard question to answer, right? I mean, his talent level was off the charts. So could Morphy have become an elite player? We'll never know, but I would think he had for sure the potential. If he was doing that to people in the 1850s with limited chess resources, you got to imagine that he was a generational talent. Let's go here. Now I'm going to try to shift over to the king side. G3, E4, work up to that. Yeah. We're going for E4. Right down the pipe. Play down the center. I like this position. Okay, black wisely not capturing. Now, I don't really want to play E5 because it gives my opponent this square. I think I should keep the tension for a little bit. What to play, though? King G3, maybe? King G2, and then H3, G4, perhaps? This is a bit loose, though. I don't know. Okay, C5. Interesting. Okay, now I might actually do this. I think I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to play this now. And if here, then take. And then put my knight here. Yeah, we're going to switch gears a little bit. Because I like the fact that my knight could get here and blockade. Very strong pass pawn here. I'm weak on the light squares, but I don't have to allow the position to become open necessarily. Still rather tricky, this position. Let's try to make black make a decision about this. All right, I'll take. Black's going all out. All out attack. I don't know. I need to move faster, though. That much is clear. Move fast, try to create some problems. Okay, now I'm going to try to win this pawn, because I think if I can win that pawn, I should be in really good shape. I think I can win it. I do think I can win that pawn. He's not taking it. Oh, big time mistake. My opponent bailed me out huge there. All right. Yeah, had Tommy not played rook b8, this would have been interesting. I don't know that I would have done so well with 11 seconds. I might be worse here. No, I'm better, but it's not clear. It's not clear in time pressure. Because this rook is pretty good on b3. It's just like blocking everything up. Ooh, okay, so we got bailed out there by my opponent's inaccuracies. Yeah, should take the pawn right away. I don't know. I think black was playing this pretty well. Like b4. I didn't really know how to react to that move, despite the engine saying this is still good for me. I wasn't quite sure, because putting the knight on d4 seems kind of obvious, but somehow I didn't want to do that because I was trying to disrupt queen takes c5. Okay, good game. Interesting one. I think your move order in the opening was a little sketchy, but then again, I don't think I punished you per se. So thanks for the game, Tommy. Let's get maybe like 3 more games in. We have our blindfold game at the end, as usual, so we'll try to get 2 other ones in. Corinthian Man, good luck. I'll play Sicilian. We're going to see Smith Mora. Yes, indeed. All right, let's transpose it to an Alupin. This is like the cowardly don't accept the Gambit, but I will take e4 because I don't think knight f3 is a good move. And now we can just play this like, I don't know, Panov or something, almost. Let's bring this back. Try to leave this pawn isolated. Your challenges are not hitting the queue? Ah, man. Sorry to hear. Let's go e6. Just develop. Is the US Open final going on right now? It is Sunday, so I assume today is the men's final. Who's in it? It's Alcaraz. Is that his name? And who else? Ah, yeah, the Norwegian guy, right? Another famous Norwegian. Who's the favorite? It's probably pretty close, right? Alcaraz probably the slight favorite. Let's go a6. Try to clarify here. He's played 3 5-set matches in a row. Oof. What is Magnus's tennis elo? Good question. Oh, Corinthian Man. Oof. I haven't seen Magnus play tennis, so I would bet he's pretty low rated. Yeah, thanks, Corinthian Man, for the game. Knight f3, just not really a move here. You pretty much have to play e5. Yeah, e5, and this transposes to mainline Alupin. You can take there. Yeah, I think after as played, you don't ever really get compensation. Thanks for the game, though. Who's up next? Sukray. All right, let's play e4. Yeah, Magnus's soccer elo is probably far higher. Yeah, he plays a lot of soccer. Okay, French defense. I'll play this line. I played this line from the white side in my youth. There's some chances for like a Greek gift here. Should I try to do it? We got to go for it. We must try. Boom. Greek gift. I don't know if it's sound in this instance. Now, critical for black to come out here. Black plays it. Good. Yeah, because if you go back, queen h5, that's just good for white. So how to play this here? Let me think. This is always interesting. Like check is obvious, but black will go f5. Queen g4 can often be played. There's also even h4, but I don't think h4 is right, so I think it's between this and this. Also, like, this is flashing through my head, too, to try to do this and then check here, but don't get the sense that that's the right way to go. So let's play this one. And on f5, I think I'll bring the queen back. And we're just going to chill and use the future threat of a sacrifice to our advantage. Or of a discovery, I should say. Worst thing black could do here is play king h6 to try to escape the checks. It's very uncomfortable for the black king, no doubt. Worst thing you could do is play king h6, though, because that's going to lead to mate like this. And actually, maybe I should have just gone queen h4, because I would have been threatening mate. Black didn't have rook h8, so that was probably just much stronger. Should I do it now? I mean, might not be too late. Now there is take on e5, though, as a defense. So let me think. Allow me to consider my options. All right, so if I go here, I don't know. Yeah, I'm tempted to play this, but I don't see a good move against this. It's just not quite working. So I think I should move my knight. I'll go here. Yeah, but this too is like not necessarily the best. Okay, but now I can maybe go here. Let's take check. Take check. And can I win this material back? Queen takes h3. I got to try it. There's a check here. I'm going to go here, I think. Very messy position. Typical messy French stuff going on. But I think I'm winning that knight now. How's the Sinkfield Cup going on? Or going, guys? Any interesting games in the final round today? I think Nepo is leading right now, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Let's take this way. Oh, is Firouzja leading? I thought Firouzja was leading the Grand Chess Tour overall. Is he leading the tournament as well? Wesley had a very uncharacteristic loss against Firouzja yesterday. He had a dominating position out of the opening and blew it. Highly uncharacteristic. Oh, Firouzja won the Grand Chess Tour with the draw today. Okay, so he must have drew relatively quickly. Oh, okay. I didn't think my opponent would sack there. Oh, well, this is a vicious double check, though. I don't know why my opponent played queen takes c2. I think moving the bishop was okay there. Nothing wrong with that. So this one's over. Thanks for the game, C-Care. Yeah, so interesting situation here. I do think I missed a big chance by playing queen g3 instead of queen h4. Ooh, maybe not. Engine likes queen h4, but it doesn't say it's immediately winning. So again, this threatens mate. And black, if they play rook h8, will just be met by queen takes h8. Knight f6 is the move here. Wow, interesting. And then don't even take it, play g4. Okay, that's complicated. So I went queen g3. You took here. And now apparently best is knight takes e6. So I was trying to hold this move in reserve. King f7, this is what I was worried about. And then knight g5. Wow, just go back. And if king g8, knight takes d5. And I guess you have problems here and here. It's a precise line. I played knight e2. You took there, which is apparently not good. Not for the reason I played, though. Rook h8 is better. Okay, so I can take here. This strikes me as very complicated still, but to the engine, it's not. Because if takes, check. And I guess if you go here to keep your queen defended, I have mate in 2. With the knight guarding there. That would have taken some time for both of us to see. And I guess if rook takes f4, I probably have some straightforward solution as well. Knight h3, and then go take the rook, and I'm up material. Nice to know that I'm not the only one getting double question marks every move, says John Carter. Yeah, there's in these tactical positions, you might be prone to seeing a lot of question marks. Very interesting. King f7 is best here. With some sort of mess if this happens. So a lot to examine in that game. But yeah, generally, I don't think you want to allow the Greek gift. I did misplay it, but make sure you don't allow that in this line. See care. Okay. Now, final game. You guys know the drill. We're going to play our blindfold game. Preferences. So we're selecting blindfold pieces on. Do not panic when you see a blank board that is completely expected. Playing Hallahan. I'm going to play d4. I'm playing white. And you can follow along on Lichess if you want to have sight of the board. Sight of the pieces, that is. You can follow Fins, F-I-N-S. Or if you want to see it from my perspective, just stay tuned to this. Is Hallahan here, though? I don't think my opponent's here. So let's abort. We're going to go on to another game. Oh. I'm rewarded with a 2390. And I'm playing black. This is going to be real tough. Maybe my opponent... Oh, they are here. All right, I got to be full focus here. And this is rated, too. Oh, man. Well, no going back at this point. This is definitely the highest rated player I've ever played blindfold on Lichess plays. So let's try to make the best of it. This is someone I would have a hard time with sight of the board. 2390 is good. Let's do our best. Oh, I see your guys' comments coming, and I'm going to try to focus. My best hope is to stay up on the clock here early on. That's what you got to do. I just can't think too hard in the opening, because if I get into a time scramble, it's all over. It's so hard to play no increment time scrambles blindfolded. Okay. Let's go rook c8. I see the position pretty clearly. I have like a Slav setup. Scandi setup almost, Scandinavian. If I lose, I'm going to blame it on Hallahan because they weren't there. No excuses, though, man. No excuses. Let's go b5. Just being aggressive against that queen. And now I think I want to go b4. Let's kick this knight. Yeah, I think this is a good setup for me. Queen a5, attack the knight again. b3, queen b5. I remember this setup. This is an idea in this line. It's kind of weird looking, but I believe this is supposed to be good for black. Because if take, I can pre-move this capture. That knight is like stuck on the edge of the board. Can go back to b2, but that's just completely undesirable. This position looks bad. Yeah, I have no pieces. But nor does my opponent. Okay, I'm up a minute on the clock. This is really good, guys. Suffice it to say. Queen f1. That's a weird move. I was like, what move was that my opponent play? Okay. Queen f1. Could go like bishop e4 or maybe bishop c2 to start. Let's go bishop c2 to start. And here... Let's bring this back. Just to misplace that rook a little bit, maybe gain time for knight e4. We'll play knight e4, hit the rook. Comes back, okay. Let's go here. Pin. I do have a rook on c8, right? I got to keep that in mind. I think I have a rook sitting here. Plays rook d to c1. Okay. Trying to escape the pin, I would assume. Let's go a6. More defensive this. Still got the queens in opposition with one another. Still awkward for white. White is pretty cramped here. They're trying to work their way out of it, but it's not easy. Queen e1. Okay. Feels like it's time for c5. I know white might go bishop f1, but I got to do it. Let's take here. Okay. Let's take here. Now, I might have knight d3 coming in. Not yet, though. Got to secure the queen. 20 seconds. All right, I got plenty of time, so I want to move fast, but I don't have to panic or anything. Let's go here. It's covering d3 now. Queen d1. Let's bring this back now. Take that. Go 95. Jump in, hit the rook. Got him. I played queen takes e3 and queen takes f2. We take those flags. In 3+0 blitz, we don't care. I actually couldn't track what moves white was playing at the end, but I knew white had 1 or 2 seconds and was pre-moving, so I was like, let's just give it a check. It was not worth the time to try to figure out what white was doing. I just knew that my king was semi-safe. All right, thank you, JLF, for the game. It was pretty even, I think, towards the beginning. I felt like I had some small pressure, but white was negotiating it pretty well. I didn't notice any big tactical opportunities that I missed. But when we get here, I just got to stay up on the clock. All right, yeah, we get the victory over the 2390 rated blindfold game. Well, just a rated game in general, but it was blindfold. Oh, I could have taken the rook here. All right. The main thing was play fast and keep the king safe, and don't worry about anything else. GG, GG. Look at that. We win despite having a much higher, well, somewhat higher average centi pawn loss in the triple digits. There's a lot of colors at the end. A lot of colors, a lot of red and question marks. Queen takes e3 was a blunder. Yeah, who would have predicted queen takes pawn was a blunder? All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Lichess Plays today. It was a pleasure, as always. 2 hours of 3+0 blitz. Apologies to those who didn't get a game in today. It is random. I appreciate you guys challenging, and you will have more opportunities in the future. Check out my channel if you want to. I stream quite a bit on my personal channel on Lichess. It's just my name, John Bartholomew. Check out the other Lichess Play streamers as well. You all have a great week. We're going to raid someone here. And thanks again for tuning in today, everyone. Glad we got that victory in the end. No one took me down today, but you can try again next week. Yes, thanks everyone watching on Twitch and YouTube. Have a great week. I'll see you all later.